Welcome back to the Survival Gardener Minute. I'm David the Good. So, my recent Survival Gardener Minute on why I don't deep mulch my gardens has really stirred up a lot of controversy. Quite a few people, are saying things like, well, so-and-so has a huge farm and they use deep mulch and, I use this and you can use this and you're not taking care of your soil or whatever else. Let me tell you again, it is a logistical problem. First of all, trying to get a load of wood chips or even like crushed sugarcane bagasse or something like that here would just be very difficult. We literally live in the jungle. We don't have this sort of supply chain where you could be like, I'm just going to call such and such landscape company and have them drop it off. Or I've got a friend who does the tree trimming stuff. No, the tree trimming service here is a guy with a machete. Literally. A guy came by with a machete and chopped up the neighbor's tree. They sent the power company down our road, way down our rough road, and they had guys with machetes going up into the trees to clear along the line. So they don't have a big shredder or anything like that. But secondarily, remember I mentioned that the material breaks down really quickly here in the tropics. It doesn't last very long. Even the grass that I have pulled in and put around the beds is already rotting away pretty quickly. And beyond that, we live in the jungle. I already said that, but I'm going to say that again. And the jungle means bugs. Like at night here, there are sometimes 6 to 8 inch bugs crawling around in the rafters. I have to like get them and throw them outside sometimes because I don't want them to climb on us while we're sleeping because they have claws and they shoot unpleasant fluids and stuff like that. They're freaky, right? And so when you have a whole bunch of organic matter laying on the ground around your plants, you are letting the jungle creep closer to your annual gardens. And another guy said, it's not natural. Nature would cover that area in a short period of time if you just left it alone. Yes, I know that. The weeds here grow like 15 feet a day. I know that nature would cover it. Nature doesn't like bare ground. If you look at a natural system, well, look over here. All right, that area back there, that area had cows and stuff grazing on it not that long ago, and it has been covered over by weeds. It gets covered with weeds really, really quickly. When the rainy season comes, the grass will grow a foot or two a week sometimes. It's absolutely outrageous how fast it grows. So, yes, I know nature will cover it. I don't want nature to cover it. Did you know that broccoli is not natural? Do you know that people bred those? You're not going to go out in the wild and find broccoli growing. It can't, because of the competition with weeds. Weeds are incredible. They haven't been domesticated. They haven't been cared for, and improved into what we want to eat. A lot of the weedy forms of vegetables are tough. They don't have large blooms, they are like really bitter. A lot of these things are just nasty when you get them, it's like, this is an ancestor of lettuce, and you taste it, you're like, why did anybody ever think they could plant that in their gardens? But over time, people have bred them up and made them into something that is no longer a part of greater nature. It's something that is made to be tended very carefully in a garden. So you have to keep it from competing with the weeds, or you're going to have some serious issues. It'll just get run over. It cannot outcompete the weeds. So yes, I know nature will cover it, and leaves drop a lot from trees, and I could put leaves around there or whatever, but I would have to have a lot of trees to keep up, and then we're looking at a forest. Which brings me to my final point for this video, and that is, I don't hate mulch. I love mulch. I love how it builds the soil. I love how it brings in the fungi and insects and all kinds of other things. But I reserve mulch for my perennials and for my food forest projects. If any of you guys, I know a lot of you are new viewers, but if you have read my book, Compost Everything, you'll see that I speak very highly of mulch. I speak highly of mulch and dropping organic matter in my little book, Create Your Own Florida Food Forest. I talk about it in Totally Crazy Easy Florida Gardening. I talk about it in Grow or Die, The Good Guide to Survival Gardening. Mulch is valuable. Mulch builds soil quickly. Mulch adds organic matter in a nice, stream from the surface over time, and it rots down and it feeds the ground. In my food forest system, I deliberately plant trees that I can chop and drop as mulch. But when it comes to covering 7,000 square feet of vegetable gardens with mulch, not going to do it. I couldn't do it if I wanted to. I mean, I suppose I could if I spent all of my time going out in the jungle and gathering brush from all over the place and dropping it, but I couldn't maintain it. It's ridiculous. And the weeds, if it's not deep enough, the weeds will grow up in between. We have all kinds of tangling vines that arise. There's a type of bindweed here that just roots all along the stems and it conquers everything. It's insane. So no, I don't hate mulch, but I'm not using it as a large part of my vegetable gardens. There are a few plants that I've put it around. I put it around the tomatoes to stop the splash back when they get watered so bacteria doesn't get on the lower leaves and that sort of thing. And I've put it around new transplants to kind of keep the ground cool as they go in and get established. But I like to be able to go along with a hoe and knock out the weeds really quickly, so mulch gets in the way of that. And also just the amount of mulch I would have to carry is ridiculous. So if you read my old stuff, if you read my books, you'll see that I love mulch. I love what it can do. But when it comes to a large garden, a survival garden, I am not going to have this philosophical pie in the sky idea about how it's the very best method. I need food in the ground. I planted this garden starting back in December through January, and there's no way I could have done it with deep mulch and have gone much of anywhere at this point. I would have spent all my time gathering mulch rather than harvesting food. So there's a few more thoughts on mulch. Be sure to leave, questions and comments below, and whatever questions you want me to answer on future episodes of the Survival Gardener Minute. This is like the Survival Gardener 7-minute, so I'm going to leave you. Until next time, be sure to like and subscribe. And until next time, may your thumbs always be green.